Okay, so this tutorial is going to show how to do selective focus. So ideally, you'll be doing selective focus in a camera. This here is a way to increase that selective focus later on in post-production, or place one in where you were unable to do it in the original shot. This method is going to be a non-destructive method, and I'll show you exactly what that means. So first of all, we have our image right here, and this is the 2020 version of Photoshop. This feature can be done using even down to CS6. Okay, so let's get into it. We're going to duplicate this layer by dragging this layer down to the plus. So that's our copy there. And I'm just going to rename this to blur. Okay, so we now need to figure out a way to make this so that we can adjust the amount of blur later on. So what we do now is we're going to right click it. If you're on a Mac, you press Control and then click, does the same thing. If we now go down to this one here, which is Convert to Smart Object. So now if we apply any filters to this layer here, we can adjust it later on. So now I'm just going to go to Filter. I'm going to show you how this works. Blur, Gaussian blur, and I'm going to blur it a fair amount. Okay, so let's go extreme there. Click on OK. So now I've got this thing coming up in here. So I can double click on this at any time and I can adjust the amount of blur I'm having on this item. Okay, so another thing we need to do right here, having this selected, is we need to now have some things in focus. So if I make this into a mask as well, now a mask is where, just like in a spray, when you're spray painting, if you put a bit of newspaper over top of something, you spray over the newspaper, what is around the newspaper will be painted and what is underneath the newspaper will be left the same. So at the moment, what is left the same is white, and whatever I paint as black is going to be made sharp again. So I've got my black here selected. So if I just click on here and I flip it over to black, I can now go to my paintbrush tool, making my paintbrush nice and big. So I'm hovering around about 300, maybe even a little bit bigger. Hardness as 0, and I can come around here and I can put in a selective blur. So you see the foreground here is blurred out and the clouds are blurred as well. I can adjust the amount of blur that's in these now, so it's like that, or I could reduce it down. So that's pretty cool. It's non-destructive. I can always go back to my original image by just turning that off. Pretty cool, huh? And that's it for now. Thank you.